Hello and welcome to Good Morning Lancaster.
Today we'll be joined by Chris Scare, VP of Events and Engagement for Pendle College.
So stay tuned, it's 11 o'clock and you're watching Good Morning Lancaster.
Welcome back, I'm Lauren Ogilvie.
And I'm Jordan Luke McDonald, thanks for joining us.
Let's bring you up to speed with the latest news headlines.
Scan has reported that Lancaster City Council have voted to maintain the noise conditions on the new student housing plans in the city centre. 11 councillors voted against the appeal to scrap noise testing, which has been met by praise by Lancaster University Students' Union President Josh Wolfe.
7 jobs at the university are risked due to the restructure of the company The Work Foundation, which is reportedly due to the challenging and changed environment followed by Brexit.
The university has revealed plans to raise campus accommodation rents. During the next year, rent will be going up by 4% or up to £249, which is faster than the inflation rates. The full-time officers for Lancaster University Students' Union gave away £249 worth of pasta in Alexandra Square last week in a protest to the raise.
There is a new sport on campus. This year, parkour has officially become a sport. The Parkour and Tricking Society is open to everyone from all abilities, so if you want to join in, then you join their Facebook group page, which is LU Pats Public.
And Enactus Jailbreak happened over the weekend, with 15 teams hoping to travel as far away from Lancaster as possible while raising money for Enactus projects. So, Enactus Jailbreak over the weekend, there was like loads of teams, and like over 30 people took part, and together they managed to get, I think it was over 15,000 miles away from Lancaster.
I know, it's crazy.
Impressive.
And I think this year's probably been one of the farthest they've got away. I mean, I wasn't at campus last year, but I've been quite involved in Enactus in my first and second year, and I think Cyprus is probably one of the furthest that they've ever got.
Yeah, I mean, in the welcome talk, there was a mention they couldn't go to Russia, but I spoke to the president yesterday, and she said that you can actually go to Russia. So they could have got a bit further, well, a lot further away than Cyprus, but in terms of what they were told in the welcome talk, Cyprus and Napa especially, which is like the most southern eastern point of Cyprus, was like the furthest they could have got away, really. It was quite impressive as well, because in the past people have got to like Vienna and Amsterdam, and that's maybe like a third place finish. Yeah. Whereas this time around, that they finished 7th when they got to Vienna. Yeah. Because there was like 3 teams in Tenerife, 3 teams in Cyprus. So.
And still, even to get to Vienna is really impressive to do that in such a short amount of time. Because the thing is to get that far, but you've actually got the time limit of actually getting there within the few days that you have. But.
And the thing as well was that it's impressive that people had planned in advance, like they knew that Cyprus is as far as we can get. Let's head there. Yeah. And we're speaking to the 3rd place team, ADs on tour, who got to Ayia Napa. They actually landed in Cyprus first out of the 3 teams, because the other 2 teams landed on the same plane.
Oh, I see.
But because they took so long to get to Ayia Napa, they actually finished 3rd.
Oh my gosh, painful.
I know. But it's really nice though, because they were saying they were Manchester fundraising to get tickets from Manchester Airport to Cyprus. And they were saying that homeless people would come up to them and giving them money to charity.
That's ridiculous.
It was incredible.
Oh my
the amount of support they had was really nice. So nice
it's crazy. No, I think the hardest bit is definitely at the start when you see all of them first go off. Like I've been there when they've got like go through it's almost like a starting line that they have, and everyone's like going mental on campus, and I just think like, what would I do first? It's so difficult to know.
I mean, they've raised so much money though for Enactus projects. I think Enactus have got 4 projects at the moment. So there's like one that targets elderly people in Lancaster, and it's like a knitting club, so it like helps like combat loneliness. They've got Difference Enabled, which is about helping people with autism in Lancaster with employability.
Well, actually, one of the students who set up that had an autistic brother. Okay. So he set it up. I helped set up the elderly one, but it's kind of adapted since then. But Enactus, like for Jailbreak, it really does help fund their projects. It's one of the biggest like financial investments they have throughout the whole year. So
I mean, Kieran Brewer, who's the president of Enactus Lancaster, said that they raised around £2,400 on the Just Giving page, and then they raised about another 1,000 to 1,200 on just in donations and the sponsorships they got beforehand.
Wow.
So they've raised like £3,600.
Yeah.
Which, when considering the fact they've got to pay for people to get back from Cyprus, it might drop a bit, but you know, it's still a lot of money which are going to funding good causes. So.
Yeah. No, it's a great project.
Would you ever do it?
Well, my opportunity's gone now because I'm in final year. I have always considered it, but I think from being involved in it for quite a few years, I've got like quite good tips for people who want to do it. A lot of people like to go in 3s, but I think it's quite difficult if you're going in a 3, if you want to get lifts and things like that. It's best to go in a 2. And boy and girl, they typically tend to win. But I think it's like a good balance and also maybe perhaps a bit safer. But I think if you're going to do it, it's best to have like a friend that you really trust. Because some bits might go wrong. You might not be able to get the train that you thought you might be able to get. It's quite a stressful experience, I can imagine.
Interesting to know that this year's winners there were 3 of them.
Exactly,
and they were all guys,
I know, so it's like completely different
the
this year.
They got
they've like broken the rule this year.
Broken the exception.
But
like you say though, everyone got to Cyprus, and I was mentioning to Kieran whether it would be interesting to open it up to like a global thing, because obviously, you know, if everyone knows that you can get to Cyprus in 36 hours, then there's
a lot of other places you can get to in 36 hours, especially if we're getting a flight there. So no, definitely, I think they should do that. Well, I think shortly we'll be joined by Chris Scare, but first here is when we chatted to one of the Jailbreak teams, so you can find out more about it.
So we've got Kim and Sam. What was your team name?
AD's on tour.
So guys, where are you at the moment?
So we're currently at Lancaster Airport in Cyprus, waiting for our flight home tomorrow morning.
Fantastic. So how did you guys get to Cyprus?
Oh my goodness, long story. Where to start? Okay, so we left Lancaster at 6. Well, it's pretty shortly after. Yes, one of our friends was going into town doing a shopping, so we jumped in her car, got dropped off at Tesco, got some snacks, got on a train. We got tickets. Northern Rail gave us like complimentary passes, so we used those to get down to Manchester.
Oh wow!
And then we spent like 9 hours running around 7 hours running around Manchester collecting money off people like shaking buckets, and then we took that money to the airport and sort of tried to negotiate the best flight / value for money place we could get to.
Cool, and that was Cyprus. So you guys, have people been really helpful? Have you found like people have been like
everyone was so nice to us. It's incredible, literally, like the amount of like support we've been given from people was amazing. I completely like restore my faith in humanity. We were a few times we were just walking down the streets of Manchester, and homeless people came up to us and they were like, "Excuse me, you raising for charity?" And we were like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Can we give you some money?" And we were like, "Oh my goodness!" Like going through all the belongings and change. Trying to people trying to donate money to charity. Believe it. Absolutely ridiculous. Trying to help us out, and it's just been fantastic how nice and supportive everyone's been. It's been overwhelming.
Do you know how much you guys have raised for charity? How much?
It was £185 for our team.
Wow, fantastic! Well done, and you've made it all the way there. So, so you're staying over in the airport overnight?
This is the plan, being short on funds at this stage, we treated ourselves to a hotel room last night because we didn't fancy lurking in the shady streets of Larnaca overnight. So, treating ourselves to a hotel room. So tonight we're gonna slum it in the airport.
Yeah. Fantastic. And then you guys are going to be back in Lancaster sometime tomorrow? Or is it you flying back to Manchester?
Tomorrow, probably. Yeah. Fingers crossed around 4 o'clock, so time for an early bedtime.
Great. So thank you guys for speaking to us. You've done a fantastic job getting to Cyprus, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks. So Kim and Sam.
Bye.
We are now joined by Chris from Pendle College. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me on.
Do you want to tell us a bit more about your role in the Pendle JCR?
Yeah, so basically I oversee all the events that go on in Pendle College, whether that be our regular events, so we have like a pub quiz and Pendle Live regular events that we hold each week, whether that be one-off events that we hold in a term, so we have an event coming which we're all very excited about, which is our lip sync for November.
Yeah.
So yeah, just overseeing the events, also see that the media team, so our campaigns that we put up online on Facebook and obviously our postering, and then also our sports competitions, and looking forward to Pendle Cup and Warriors this year, so very exciting.
Busy man then.
Very busy, very busy. Today I have no lectures and seminars, but yet my day still is filled with meetings, so always busy.
So you mentioned, sorry. So you mentioned that about the Movember event. You got lip sync. What's that about then?
Yeah, so we've got Candy Kanin from D2, who's a very popular drag queen, and she's going to be hosting our event. And then we've got it's free, so people can come along and take part in the event as well and do a lip sync. And me and the Vice President of Welfare, Emily Delaney, are going in drag and going to do a lip sync as well. So it's going to be very exciting. Yeah.
Oh no, that sounds so fun. Are you nervous for that?
A little nervous.
Yeah.
I've done drag once before at home with my friends. I went out as Cruella de Vil to a Disney party.
Fantastic.
Which was, walking through town was a bit weird because I got a lot of stares. But it was very enjoyable, very enjoyable. So I look forward to that again. And we're doing a RuPaul's Drag Race song, so because we're both massive fans. So. Yeah, that's really exciting.
And apart from the Movember event, are there any other events that you've got at the moment?
Yeah, so we've got an event coming up on Friday, 1st of October, 1st of December, October, get me months wrong. Yeah, and that is Pendle Goes Wild West. So basically in Freshers, we found our basement party was really popular. So we're reviving it to a Wild West theme. We're going to have a rodeo bull in, and it's free entry, so come along. So that should be a good night.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, really fun.
No, that sounds fun. There's a busy weekend then as well, because I think that's a Friday.
Yeah.
And then have we got our LG, the Lancaster Got Talent, on that weekend?
Saturday,
yeah.
Wow, and our lip
so
sync's on the Wednesday.
So
oh, nice.
Yeah.
Busy week then.
Yeah, very busy week for Pendle that week, which is good because we wanted to have more regular events on in Pendle this term. So obviously having Pendle Live now back as well, which is fab. So that's been really successful as well. Last week we had a new band, Deaf Chef, and they were very good and it was really popular. So look forward to that, and that's on next week on Thursday as well again. So that's something to keep.
Yeah, because I know last year a few people mentioned about Pendle Live, like the music and stuff, and how. Yeah, that's what kind of what Pendle's known for. So last year it was seen as like, oh, there's not been as many events. So maybe is that what you're trying to push this year then, especially?
Yeah, that's what we're trying to push this year. So I got co-opted to the role earlier on this term, and I really wanted to bring back Pendle Live as that regular event. And not only that, but make sure we have different acts. I know some people were feeding back to us that sometimes they go and they see the same acts. So we've reached out and got new acts to come in. And Deaf Chef, for example, are a band that formed recently out of an old band that played at Lonnie Extrav. So really exciting to have them in, and hopefully we're looking for a big, nice Christmas one on week 10, where we're hoping to get Alex Hume back, who's a really popular act across campus. So.
Oh, very good. And can you tell us a bit more about how exactly you got into this role in the JCR?
Yeah, so, well, unfortunately, obviously, our previous VP resigned due to personal circumstances, but I was the sports officer for Pendle, and as I kind of mentioned briefly, I last year along with Grisdale, created the Warriors competition last year, which came out of Legends, and then also set up a new competition called the Pendle Cup, which was really popular. We had about 70 people turn out for that, which was really fab for our college to take part in. And so I decided that I would like to step up and take the role of Vice President of Events, and was co-opted in, and was really happy to take that role on.
Yeah, it's amazing. And for other people who are sort of applying to be in the JCR, do you have any advice for them? My
advice to them is go for it. Like, just do it. A lot of people will tell you with JCR it can be quite stressful, it can take a lot of your time, but there's no better way I find to give back to your college. So if you want to get involved in your college and want to spend your time at university well, get involved in your JCR. It's a really good thing to do.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a great way to meet other people in your college and outside of your college as well, just generally across the university, and get to know what big events are happening in the university.
Yeah, you get to know obviously a lot and create a lot of big events and have a part in the big events that happen. And JCRs is one way where you find a lot of friends actually. So I'm very close to a lot of members on the Pendle JCR, and yeah, it's really nice to. It is like that. It's a nice little kind of cozy little family kind of group where you get to know people really well, and then you kind of find you actually spend time with those people outside of the time when you're actually doing things for the JCR. So that's quite nice as well.
Yeah, and you alluded to the event side of things from your role. Obviously, your role is now like events and engagement. So, what's the engagement side of things then as well? Then?
Yeah, well, the engagement is trying to get people involved in our events that we're creating. So that's obviously creating the media aspect of things. So that's creating Facebook events that we've had. We're also going to try and live stream our lip sync as well. So that's one of the things we're going to do. So that's trying to increase engagement and get people more aware of the events that Pendle are getting on as well. So we also kind of want to start live streaming our sports events as well. So that's one thing that I think will definitely...
Maybe we could cover.
Yeah.
Maybe we could cover, yeah.
I was going to say collab there.
Yeah, maybe Ali on TV can come down and cover our events. Should cover Pendle Cup. It's very good. That's in second term.
Yeah. So Pendle Cup there, so that's the sports events that you've got. So last year there was a bit of an issue with some of the sports events. So is that something you're trying to sort of rekindle this year as well?
I don't think so. I think we... last year, after we obviously Legends went apart, and then we created Warriors with Grisdale, and that went really, really well. And we've gotten really well with the Grisdale JCR, and we're looking to definitely continue that this year.
Yeah.
And the Pendle Cup is just an individual Pendle event where we have our own sports teams compete against each other to find out which is the best all-round sports team in Pendle, and that's a really popular event. So definitely keeping those on.
Is that like cross-sport then? So you have like football people playing like rugby or something like that?
Well, no. So what we did in that event, which I started, was basically, so the darts team will play pool at pool, and we'll play the football team at football. So you play all the other sports teams at their own sports, and then you find the best average team in Pendle. And last year at about midnight, I remember it finished, and the darts team finally managed to beat the pool team at darts in a decider. So that was very good. So.
Yeah. Very tense then right at the end then, was it?
Very tense, yes, and it was very hectic because no one really knew what was going on with the points besides myself, because there was this bonus points for this and that, so no one really knew, and I just had to announce, just at midnight that, oh, they've won, because no one really knew what was going on. But in that way, it was actually quite good, because then it kept everyone tense and anticipating what was happening.
Waiting.
So, yeah, very exciting.
Yeah. So yeah, sounds interesting. Sounds you're very involved in the college. Then, like you say, it's about giving back to your college more than anything, I guess.
Absolutely. Like I went on to the JCR. The Pendle Cup was my idea. That was why I ran for sports offer initially. And going on to the JCR allows you to allow that to happen. So you get to know not only the people in JCR, but more senior figures in your SCR in Pendle as well. And Pendle's a fab college for having close relations with their SCR. And so that allowed me to get to know more people within the college, and then use those resources to make sure I can put on the events that I want, and I want the students to have and they enjoy. So. Yeah, it's a definitely good way to get involved in your college and get to know people.
Yeah, I guess you walk through Pendle and people are like, oh, that's the VP. Or
yes, when I was in Freshers Week, I keep saying this, but because it makes my head seem really big. But in Freshers Week, a fresher stopped me and went, "That's Chris Skur. He's a Pendle celebrity." And I thought, oh, don't make my head too big, So I'm quite well known around Pendle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's an incentive to join the JCR. Yeah. Networking and popularity.
Well, yeah, absolutely, because people will start recognising you, and that's one of the advantages of the roles. And it also means that people can approach you more easily. So people can come up to you and say, "Oh, that's Chris. I know he's on the JCR. I want to do this, or my society that I'm in would like to use the bar like this." And so enables me to talk to people and get them involved in the JCR as well, and increase that engagement side of things. So definitely, being popular or well known is useful.
Well, I guess you need to engage a lot with the other students in order to get honest feedback about what they want to be improved, so you know what to do going forward.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the best ways for that is I host the pub quiz. And so from that, we can get engaged. When I talk to people about that, I go around and ask people what they think, etc. We can engage whether the rounds are too hard, etc. Or in Pendle Live, ask people, what do you think of these acts? Was there too many acoustic acts? Would you like something different next time? So definitely being well known and actually asking and getting people's feedback allows us to tailor our events to more what people would like, and that's why I think this term our pub quiz is still doing really well into the assignments and kind of exam season now. And then also Pendle Live was really well attended last week. So doing very well in terms of turnout in our events now as well, which is good.
Yeah, and then behind the scenes, is there much interaction with the other JCRs from the other colleges, liaising with them in terms of events and sort of cross-college events? Or
well, obviously we have SEG where we all meet together and get together, and there's discussions which I'm sure will be talked about later about what might be happening. in terms of cross-college events. But in terms of us, our main tournament communication at the moment is in the sports aspect of Warriors, definitely. So, but not a cross-campus of kind of event yet. There was the fireworks event that obviously happened, that was very successful. So, but hopefully looking for more cross-campus events would be something I'd like to do. You know, this term maybe towards the end would be good.
The fireworks were amazing. Did you go to the fireworks? Oh, you didn't go, did you, this year?
No, I saw the ones in town, but in my 2 previous years, I've both gone to the ones that are on campus. So they are really good, I think. Especially if you're a first year, I think. Or if you're living on campus in general, I think they're really good to go to.
Yeah, I love fireworks. It's one of my favourite things to go to. Every year, me and my family go to the National Fireworks Display. So I'm a massive fan of fireworks. So I was quite excited to see that on campus because I was a first year last year and I didn't actually go see them. So this year was my chance.
They have all the food stalls and everything like that. It's good atmosphere.
Yeah, it is a good atmosphere. Yeah, because you can get a wide range of people there as well from all colleges and also from outside the university. So yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Get a petition, go to some fireworks at sports events.
Yes,
to launch at the beginning of the
that'd
game.
be fantastic. I'd like that. You know, maybe roses. They should look into that.
Yeah,
get some fireworks to open the ceremony.
That could be good. Yeah, but yeah. So thanks for talking to us.
No problem.
So here's a look at what's coming up on campus this week.
The Guide Dog Society are holding a Meet the Dogs event tomorrow at 2 p.m. All students and staff are welcome to de-stress by visiting the Dogs in Fylde Common Room. There is no price for the event, but it is suggested that you donate around £4.
Also on Wednesday, Lonsdale College are going to Liverpool for a night out. Tickets cost £15 and include coach travel and entry to 2 bars. If you're going, you're going to need to meet in Lonsdale Bar at 7:30 p.m. and the coaches will be leaving coaching will be leaving Liverpool at 3 a.m.
Youth Social Venture are taking over Take Two Cinema on Thursday to show the film Play It Forward. Tickets are completely free, so get down to the cinema in Bowland, Maine at 6:30 p.m.
After the success of their Leeds trip, Bowland and Fylde are going for a night out in Manchester on Friday. They were visiting a few bars in the city before ending up in Factory. Tickets are £10, which includes the coach and club entry. Buses leave campus at 8 p.m. and return at 3:30 a.m.
Sugar House are hosting a special event on Saturday night where Yang Bain will be performing a set. The 21-year-old artist has already been nominated for an MOBO, which actually I think you're also saying that he had done something with Ed Sheeran, so it sounds like a really good event. You'll know him mostly for his popular song Bestie, but tickets will also be selling out really fast, so make sure to get yours soon.
On Monday, UNICEF are hosting an international dinner at the Chaplaincy Centre. The evening will be a collaboration with other societies in order to share a range of food, culture and performances to celebrate the cultural diversity in UNICEF's work. The event starts at 6:30 p.m. and is open to everybody.
The hiking club are visiting Braithwaite on Saturday this week. The trip will be filled with beautiful scenery and wonderful views, but remember to take a hand and some gloves. The trip leaves at 8:45 a.m. and should be getting back at around 8 p.m.
And tickets are now available for Lancaster's Got Talent. They're only £5 and you can find them on the Facebook page, which is LGT Show, at LGT Show, or you can search Lancaster's Got Talent. So obviously Lancaster Got Talent on the 2nd of December, Saturday from 6 p.m. There's loads of societies performing. We've got some great acts.
Yeah, it's a really good eclectic mix, so I think it'll be definitely a good atmosphere on that Saturday night. Yeah,
and obviously if you have a ticket to Lancaster's Got Talent, you'll get £1 off entry to Sugar House guaranteed for the official after party. There's also 100 free entries to Sugar House, and there'll be free drinks, and yeah, so nice partnership there with Sugar House. So come on down to Lancaster's Got Talent, see some great talent, and then have a nice party afterwards at Sugar.
Sounds like a good night. We hope everyone had a good week, and we shall be seeing you next week for another episode of Good Morning Lancaster.
Bye.
Goodbye.